Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, and I thought I'd give this mod another go. This is Hearts of Ice and Fire. It's the Game of Thrones mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Last time I played just 2 episodes playing as the Night King. That did not end so well. I bit off more than I could chew. Ended up at war with basically all of Westeros. Hung on for as long as I can, but ended up losing. So I thought this time I'd try something a little different. And so I've decided to go with everyone's favorite house. Well, not everyone's, but some people's. And that is House Stark. This time I'll be playing as a democratic regime. And obviously the challenge will be to try and hold everything together when the world falls apart. But also think about that northern threat coming down. So we'll see how this goes. We'll dive in and just see what happens. Alright, well, we're playing on regular difficulty mode, and as always, the important things first are to look at the national focus, and we've got this series of focuses that give me a big boost of political power right away and also allow me to make decisions about what I want to do politically. So I'm going to at least do Rally the Lords because I want to open up these options, which only take 14 days, and then as events unfold, I'll be able to deal with those accordingly. There are quite a few over on the other end of things that allow me to build up infrastructure and things of that nature, but I also want to start getting my military up to speed as quickly as I can, as well as industry, get our research going, kind of all the standard things that one does in a game of Hearts of Iron at the beginning. And let's do land doctrine as well, and I think we're going to do mobile warfare because I'm going to primarily kind of focus on armor in this one. So let's take a look and see how many divisions we've got all together. I'm going to go ahead and get a southern army going, and we'll see who the army commanders are. All right, we've got Great John Umber, Roderick Castle, Jory Castle, Small John. Yeah, you got your neck bit out, and you had it coming too, dude. All right, and we've got a field marshal in Robb Stark, so that's kind of awesome. Hopefully we can get him to survive this time around. We're going to go ahead and let Great John Umber take the southern army for now, and we'll throw them on the border with House Tully, even though I guess in theory we should probably have some kind of an alliance with the Tullys, since I believe that Ned Stark's wife, Eddard Stark, his wife is a Tully, so, and then her sister is actually married to the leader of the House of Aaron here, so anyway, we'll go ahead and do that. Let's get our civilian factories going, and I'm actually going to build up some additional civilian factories to start. Actually, let's look at infrastructure for a second because I want to see what production I have and where we can add to that with some simple infrastructure additions. Alright, so we'll do a little bit of that for now while we work on some other things. We've got some free dockyards and free military factories. I definitely want to get some tanks going. And then we'll get some... Oh, we don't have any divisions where I can produce armored divisions. Alright, so for now we'll just do infantry divisions. I do have a lot of available manpower, almost 500,000, so that's nice. We'll get our northern divisions assigned here shortly. So eventually what I'll have to do then is I'll start adding tanks to my infantry divisions, or I'll just kind of build a template for those divisions, but I'll do that off screen. All right, we've got 7 dockyards. That's actually kind of surprising I've got that many. I think I'll get a few convoys going for now before I start worrying about a navy. And then we'll go ahead and start going here. I'm sure events will be unfolding fairly quickly, and I'll make sure I show you any of those as they happen. Let's get a northern army going under Roderick Castle, Cassell. Oh yes, here we go. There's a little bit of background for us. House Stark is one of the oldest lines of Westerosi nobility by far, claiming a line of descent stretching back over 8,000 years. Long before the Targaryen conquest, the leaders of House Stark held the title of Kings in the North. It's going to happen again. That changed, however, when King Torrhen Stark bent the knee to Aegon the Conqueror, and they would not regain that title until the end of Robert's Rebellion. That war began when the Princess Lyanna Stark was kidnapped, no she wasn't, by Crown Prince Rhaegar Targaryen. Then Lord Rickard Stark and his son Brandon both demanded her return, but they were executed by the Mad King, King Eddard Targaryen, instead. None of this is actually proper because they actually eloped, but we don't know that, of course. Eddard Stark became the head of the family, and with the support of House Baratheon, Tully, and Aeron, overthrew the Targaryen king. During the Civil War, Stark troops were instrumental in several engagements, and it was Eddard Stark's forces that reached King's Landing just after the Lannisters had sacked it, ensuring the city was turned over to Robert's army when it arrived. Due to the North's vast size, gathering the full military strength of the Starks and their vassals is a difficult process, hence why some of their loyal bannermen like House Karstark and House Mormont have remained independent for all these years. House Bolton was also a Stark vassal once, but their failed invasion of Hornwood in the 1920s led to a bitter dispute between the two houses. House Stark does have a major ally in the Crown Lands, specifically King Robert Baratheon, who along with Ned Stark kicked off Robert's rebellion, and though they have been somewhat estranged from one another in recent years, they remain friends to this day. All right. So with that said, we're going to throw these guys up on the border with the Boltons here in Dreadfort for now. We've got the Night's Watch up here to the north in Castle Black. So, all right, we'll go ahead and just proceed, and we'll see how this all shakes out. All right, so there's Rally the Lords. The most of the national focuses aren't real long ones, so I'm going to start working on my infrastructure and my military. Not my military, my infrastructure and my factories while I'm waiting for political events to unfold. Let's see what actions we have available to us here. We could ban fascism, communism. I'm not going to do any of that. We could unite the Seven Kingdoms if we own enough of the territory, which we don't. So really nothing there I really want to get into right now. Oh, we've got unassigned divisions inside of these areas, I guess. There we go. We'll pull them out. All right, so it's nice to see that I have almost 500,000 in free manpower, and I actually am only on volunteer only as far as recruitable population goes. So that really bodes well for me moving forward. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at my available political advisors. All right, Ned Stark abdicates. That's because he's taken on the role of being the hand of the king to Robert Baratheon. So now Eddard Stark retires, and now I will be ruled by Robb Stark in the north. Let's see here. I actually think I'm going to go with early mobilization for my economy. All right, there he is. There's Robb Stark, a.k.a. Prince Charming from the Cinderella live-action movie. Prince Joffrey's heritage question. Yeah, that's because your parents are brother and sister. So that's going to start moving us toward war, unfortunately. All right, we get another research speed bonus with mechanical computing. All right, there's construction infrastructure. Now we could start really ramping up the civilian factories and the military factories, and that's going to help a lot. I've also started my military doing exercises so I can build up some army experience points to make the necessary changes to my divisions or to create armored divisions in the first place. In the meantime, not a lot else happening right now. Support weapons is almost finished, and we're in 1936, so I think from there we'll probably work on some of these support companies like field hospitals. All right, so we've got the industry going here. I'm actually going to do one more thing. Actually, I'm going to go after ties to the Riverlands because I'm thinking about alliances, because I looked down and I saw that the Lannisters are working on Denounce the Starks, which is a prelude to removing Robert Baratheon and then eventually going to war. So I need to be prepared for that when it happens. Oh, we actually bypassed that one. So that's cool. So let's go for alliance with the Tullys. It's going to take 70 days, but it's going to get the Tullys to join my faction. Let's take a look at that faction for a second here. So it's called the Northern Kingdoms Union, and right now it's just me and the Karstarks. But eventually we'll add the Tullys, then we'll work on hopefully adding the Aarons as well. And that should give me enough military support to be able to take on the Lannisters if it comes to it. I shouldn't say if it comes to it. It will come to that. All right, let's pause for a second here. All right, we'll start building some. Actually, I think I want to work on infrastructure a little bit in some of these more southern territories, because when I go to war, I want that as high as possible. And then eventually we'll work on some more factories. All right, there we go. Calling upon the bonds forged during Robert's Rebellion, the two great houses have declared a formal alliance with the intent of maintaining stability within Westeros. With the new Northern Kingdoms Union officially ratified, observers are now left wondering if there will be anyone else capable of standing up to the combined forces of the North and the Riverlands. Excellent news. Oh, we could support House Frey. Walder Frey would be grateful, wouldn't he? But we're going to move back over this way now and look at military factories. Start building up that infrastructure. There we go. Now we can see that we can move our armies down further, and that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these armies that had orders on those borders, and we're going to actually move them to the border with the Lannisters. Eventually, I may need to move my other divisions down there as well. Let's see what they're doing now. Remove Robert Baratheon. So that's going to be the step toward war, unfortunately. All right, so there's my new military factories. So that'll certainly help things. The question is where to go next. I think I'm going to go back to the political things that are happening here. That one doesn't really seem to be that helpful. How about ties to the Vale? Let's get another great house on my side, and let's see what the Lannisters are up to. They're about to remove Robert Baratheon. Once that happens, they can create a Lannister-Baratheon alliance or reinstate Joffrey. So we'll see how that all shakes out. All right, there's ties to the Vale. That got bypassed as well, so I don't know exactly why that is, but I'm not complaining at all. I think we probably want to befriend the Arryns. How long do we have until Robert's removed? It's going to happen here pretty soon. All right, I had two things pop up at once, and when I hit OK on one of them, the other one went as well. So what we didn't see was that Robert Baratheon died, and now, of course, we have Lord Eddard Stark ruling the Crown Lands, which is what happened in the books and in the TV series until he was overthrown by the Lannisters with help from Littlefinger. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But that's my dad, who's down there running the Crown Lands right now. And let's see what the Lannisters are up to at this point. Build the Tywin line. So they're actually working on their military now, it looks like. So that actually buys me a little bit of time because they're not automatically going after pushing things any further. Okay, I can start building armor divisions. They're obviously not going to be very big to start, only 4 in combat with, but we will add to that as things go along. But this at least allows me a place to put my tanks for now. So we'll start queuing up some armored divisions now. And we'll continue to do exercises to build that army experience even further. And I'm building up close air support for my Air Force as well. All right. We're going to befriend the Arryns very soon, and we're just going to keep preparing for war because we know eventually it's going to come. I want to see what the Crown Lands are actually working on now. They're working on air defense. They're democratic at the moment. What's House Baratheon doing? That's Renly. He's modernizing his artillery. So nobody right now is doing anything political that would push us toward war, though I'm sure it will come. All right, there's befriend the Arryns. All right, we can't do this until we actually go to war. So let's deal with the Boltons. I guess we've got a little time to deal with them and get rid of a problem in my own backyard. All right, there's Bolton problem. So now we can embargo them, or we can basically placate them and actually make them into an ally. Yeah. Don't think so, Boltons. I don't think I want to be friends with you. So we're actually going to stop. No. Okay. I'm going to bring these 11 divisions up. And we're going to surround the Boltons. Actually, I don't know if that'll be enough. So maybe what we do here is we go ahead and create an army under Robb Stark. An army group. And at least while things seem like they're safe, we can go ahead and move everybody up. I'm going to have to redo that, but I'll do that off screen. And we'll get ready to deal with the Boltons while things seem relatively calm in the south. Of course, I've made that kind of mistake before, so it may not work out for me to have done that, but we'll see. All right, let's take a look here. We are embargoing the Boltons. House Baratheon seeks to join the Northern Kingdom's union. Absolutely. We will take all the help we can get. So I guess that's Renly Baratheon that we're talking about, and we're going to go ahead and puppet the Boltons. If they don't like it, we'll go to war, and I will be glad to go to war with them. All right, the Lannisters demand apology. Reports have come from in the capital claiming that a coup against King Joffrey Baratheon was foiled. The coup was headed by several known supporters of the former king, and their reasons were based, quote, solely on disgusting rumors about the king's true parentage, which are true, by the way. Among the conspirators was the former Lord of Winterfell himself, Eddard Stark. Among harsh allegations such as treason and conspiring to murder the king, the Queen Mother Cersei Lannister has sent us a royal decree demanding that we, 1, issue a full apology on behalf of House Stark, 2, publicly denounce Ned Stark's actions as treason, and 3, bend the knee and renew House Stark's loyalty to the one true King Joffrey Baratheon. Needless to say, most if not all Northern Lords are outraged by this and are ready to go to war immediately. There are a few moderate voices that say war is unnecessary. Ultimately, the decision lies with Robb Stark. Call the banners. We're going to war. So the mission is to save Ned Stark. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, does that mean that if we get down there quickly enough, which I knew this would happen, that I would send all my armies up there to deal with the Boltons, and then we'd need them down in the south. So here we go. Back down south we go. House Stark is called House Karstark as our ally in the war. Braavos wants to send us 3 divisions. So let's get them down there, and we are going to very quickly try to take King's Landing. I'm sure we're going to have to deal with the Lannisters over here. Yeah, it figures that's how this would go down. I just knew the minute I sent my armies north. House Mormont has joined as our ally. Let's see how this all shakes out. Okay, fielded manpower. Huge advantage right now to my side, almost 300,000, but you don't see the Lannisters jumping in yet, and you know that's going to happen. All right, my army actually got there super fast. They took rail. House Baratheon has joined House Mormont as our ally, so now we've got Renly coming up from the south. That's really helpful. All right, let's go. The Tullys have joined. Where's that put us? That puts us at 800,000 against 200,000. That should bode really, really well. The Lannisters haven't joined yet, which really surprises me. So this may go really well, and we may change history right off the bat. House Tully proposes wedding. The Tullys are currently locked into a bitter dispute with House Frey, and the only way to ease tensions would be for a High Lord such as Robb Stark to marry one of Walder Frey's daughters. Oh boy. Okay, if I agree, does that mean that the Red Wedding is going to happen? Because I don't want that to happen. I'm going to actually marry her rather than agreeing to it and then not doing it. We'll do the right thing there so Walder Frey doesn't get angry. Because we don't want Walder Frey to be angry. At least not until we can send Arya to deal with him. I'm not even going to worry about my air power right now. I've got a 4-to-1 advantage. All right, we're going to keep working on Mobile Warfare Doctrine. All right, so far so good. But when you have the advantage that we have, that's not a surprise. Main thing here is I want to take King's Landing as quickly as possible. Wow. So what happened here? Oh, I guess we won the war, huh? So I'm just going to change the government. I'm not worried about taking all the states. All right. So that war's over, just like that. And Ned Stark stays in charge of the Crown Lands. So I guess that's that. Now, with that in mind, I'm thinking about two things. I'm thinking about what are the Lannisters going to do? And I'm also wondering whether or not I'm going to have an issue with the Boltons when this is done. I'm just looking at this. Okay, so we do have to prepare ourselves for a preemptive attack. Whoa! Okay, wait. No, 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 no. I should never have agreed to that wedding. House Frey declared war on House Tully. So I was afraid of that. Robb Stark massacred at the Red Wedding. Dang. Okay, so now who's going to run things in the north? Wow. Yes, I will come help in the war against the Freys. I would never have agreed to that if I didn't think I was going to end up having that happen that way. Boy. Well, that kind of stinks. So now we have a Stark Regency Council. That really sucks. And I also don't have a general in command of my... Alright. I guess we can promote Great John Umber to be a field marshal. And then just put a new general here. Oh, that's so disheartening to have the Red Wedding happen to me. All right, so now we've got to deal with House Frey, which isn't going to be a huge issue because we're not at war with everybody else right now. Dang, okay. So the Freys are up against everybody at the moment. So I'm just going to get my armies and just... This isn't a lot of territory to deal with. We're just going to march them into the Twins and deal with these guys. But we're going to deal with the Boltons here pretty soon too, so that's kind of a problem. Let me pause and kind of deal with all of this. Alright, so I'm sending these 14 divisions up to surround the Boltons because we're about to deal with the Twins. There we go. Now we're not going to be able to take all states. So we'll just change the government. Alright, so who's in charge of House Frey now? It's still Walder Frey? Oh, we just changed his government, that's all. Alright, now we can send everybody north to get ready to deal with the Boltons. Alright, here we go. Baratheon brothers stand united. That's cool. Stannis and Renly are joining forces. All right, so Renly actually declared for his older brother Stannis as the one true king. So that's cool. So now Stannis, you don't have to send the Red Woman to deal with him. All right, we've got the ability to declare war on. Can we see? No, we can't see Hell from the Vale yet. So we can declare war on the Boltons now, which I will do as soon as my army's in place. Oh yeah, Roose Bolton. I am so happy to do this to you. See what kind of an army he has. Alright, he's actually got a decent sized army. I'm going to need all the help I can get. There we go. Shouldn't be a problem now. I've actually got a bit of air power we can use here. Let's go ahead and raise this up to 200. Alright, so it won't take long to deal with the Boltons. I'm kind of curious as to what the Lannisters are up to during all of this. Oh, they're going to do a royal marriage with the Tyrells. Alright, in the meantime, Boltons are almost dealt with. We got our first armored divisions on the scene, which we're going to have to build up. And now I've got actually a lot of army experience, so I can use that to make those units a bit bigger. Oh yeah, we're dealing with the Boltons nicely. Only 17,000 losses, 44,000 inflicted. All right, let's just take the Dreadfort and be done with this. I feel like this is going too well so far. Everything has worked out in my favor, except for the whole Red Wedding thing. That was not so good. But I think once we're done with this, we'll kind of wrap things up and give everyone a chance to have a little feedback about where you think I should go from here. Obviously, at some point, we're going to go after the Lannisters and deal with them. All right, there we go. We're going to puppet the Boltons. Perfect. So, do they stay in charge? No, now we have Simone Emo as the leader of House Bolton. All right. So, let's go ahead and start building up some more military factories, a few places. We'll work on our next national focus, which will be to develop the poorer regions. And then we will go ahead and move the army south again to get down here on the border with the Lannisters. But for now, I think that's where we'll stop. We'll see what happens when they get that royal marriage with the Tyrells. That's obviously going to create a formidable alliance. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Where should I go from here? Should I just kind of stand down? I am a democratic government, so there's always the possibility that I could start shifting towards fascism so that I can do more and try to kind of conquer and unite the Seven Kingdoms under the Starks. I don't know. Right now, though, that's a Stark Regency Council. I don't know if that's going to change at some point. It looks like the Red Wedding aftermath will be removed at the end of December. So maybe at that point we can put Bran in charge. I don't know how that's going to work. So we'll see. But let me know your thoughts. Please hit that thumbs up to let me know you want to see more from this series and more series like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back in a few days with another episode. Thanks for watching.